What's up, this is Nak3d Eli, the mostly unclothed gamer, here with a world record legendary speedrun guide for Regret, one of the hardest and most RNG based missions in the entire Halo franchise. Starting out, we're going to do a couple of sweet grenade jumps to get onto the roof, look at these positions where I'm looking to look for all of the Jackal snipers. There are 5 of them and 6 possible locations. If you played enough, you'll see that these are pretty much the locations that they'll always be in. Now turn around, throw a plasma here. That can normally do a god launch across to that top pillar. For some reason the plasma didn't affect me. I guess I was behind the geometry, and so you can use a frag jump there to get up from that exact position. Now we're going to jump here. You got to make a nice long crouch jump there, come to this perfect point and look straight up and throw 2 plasmas where the elite will spawn, followed by a frag grenade, and then jump up to here, turn left, stick that elite, and hopefully you'll see a killtrocity. I only had 5 dead, so we can turn around and snipe whoever is still alive. The reason that we're doing this is twofold. One, we want to get on the gondola early so we don't have to fight the hunters and fight through all the other enemies that spawn in the initial area. And 2, we can hit something called the God despawn, which is when this phantom comes in and then despawns before dropping off the hunters. What this does is this messes with the dialogue, and it also messes with the way that the gondolas move. So it shaves off a ton of time. You see right there, it will always despawn at that same exact point in the sequence. We've been testing out over the last week the exact causes of the despawn. It seems like you have to clear that area with where I spawned the final group of 2 elites and 4 jackals, where I threw all the grenades. It seems like you have to kill all of them almost instantly before the Cortana and music cue comes in. And then you want to sort of move to the middle or bottom of this ship and look at where the ship is going to despawn. For me, that seems to work the majority of the time. Now notice what happens is that this gondola that normally goes to where the hunters are will be going as normal, and this one will just continue forward. So instead of having to do what you normally do when you get on an early gondola, so let's say we didn't get the God despawn, right? The hunters, they drop, and then we ride this gondola all the way to here. We would have to jump onto that other gondola, press the button at the front of it, and then snipe all these enemies that are on the ship that I'm on right now. We would position ourselves to snipe, there's 4 drones and 2 elites, and then 4 more drones that come from the initial area. So if you can get the God despawn to work, it's kind of tricky to pull off. You'll have to play with the positioning of your grenades and the timing of running onto the ship, as well as sticking that elite with the sticky that's right next to you when you spawn him up. But it's completely worth it, as you can see, saving tons of time. Now right there, if we had a frag grenade, if we hit the first God launch, we could jump up onto the rooftop, and then we could use another sticky to stick some of those jackals and snipe them instead of doing this method. But if I don't have any explosives on me, I like to come up here immediately, and then from up on the roof you fuel rod all of the jackals. If you're above these sort of 3 parallel pillars where the drones come out of, then the drones will not spawn, so we're able to skip that drone spawn. Now here we position ourselves right off the edge so that your screen looks like this, and we're aiming straight down into the, I guess I'll call this an elevator. I don't know, it's more of a water gondola ride. You throw the sticky immediately, and you're looking straight down there, by the way. And then if you throw the sticky, you should land the triple kill every single time. This is going to save us time from killing them, and we can just run on into the elevator. So you'll notice that I've highly optimized parts of this mission, and we're cruising through this. I want to give a shout out at this point, since this is like a 1-minute water gondola / elevator ride. I want to give a shout out to all the people on my stream who helped me figure out tricks and gave me suggestions, and who really helped shape the way that this regret run finally turned out to be. So we've got Only on Tuesdays, who suggested that first plasma throw to hit the God launch across that ginormous bridge gap in the beginning. Annihilate, who suggested throwing air stickies to help clear all of those enemies that we spawn up, the 4 jackals and the 2 elites. Andy's Mountain, who showed me how to save time on the initial nade jump by crouch jumping away from my second grenade. JJ Devil Sniper, who's just given me all sorts of pro tips and little suggestions, general advice here and there on the mission. A Hobo Stick, who suggested that I should instantly kill all 6 to hit the God despawn. 2 Worlds Coexisting, who suggested we should do it before the music cue and Cortana, because I think both of those are really important and shape the way I thought about the God despawn. Ad for Scrim, who said that I should jump across before killing the 5th sniper to save some time. And then we got xlax007, who taught me how to do the beam overcharge double nade, as well as hiding tonight, which is explaining how to practice with checkpoints after killing elites in the initial section. Now right here, this is important. Jump to the right and then fuel rod the middle of those two sections. This is a really crispy way to get through the grunts. I sort of developed this method just yesterday, practicing how to optimize different enemy areas. And that tactic has so far a 100% success rate for me out of, I think, 5 times trying it. So very easy to pull off and very slick when pulled off correctly. Now there we're going to take that exact route to get through. There are some alterations there depending on where the beam rifle snipers are, and you might want to kill any snipers on the right where I was looking if they don't look like they're going to drop their beam rifle. But you have to run almost immediately so that the drones don't kill you from behind. Right there, those grunts with needlers are furious, man. Normally they freak out after you kill the 2 elites, but for some reason that little guy, he was furious and tried killing me with the needler. He's trying to win the war on terror. Now notice I switched to classic mode for that sequence. I like to run in anniversary mode for you guys because it's obviously much prettier. But if you could, I don't know if I don't remember if you could see the camo before I switched, but it's much easier to see the invisible elites and grunts in classic mode than it is in anniversary. So in that one instance, I would highly recommend, even if you love playing on anniversary graphics, switch to classic. You'll have a much easier time. So I wanted to mention also how the beam overcharge works. So this trick, basically you shoot the beam rifle twice in succession really quickly, and that will cause the beam rifle to overcharge. Now notice the line up by our ammo. So you have the ammo and the weapon on the top right. That line, it's at sort of the 40% mark on the ammo, on the bar under that. When you shoot the beam rifle overcharge, the line dissipates and it goes down. And when it's right next to that line, you can throw 2 grenades really quickly. And so I was testing that to see if that would work to help get the god despawn and get the clear on those initial enemies. But ultimately, I think it was more is less, and I wound up not using it in this run. Maybe in the future we'll use it, but for now we decided to keep it out. Here we're going to play a little hide and go seek. That guy's going to go around the corner. We're going to sneak past him. Now this is really important. You want to jump over that, jump to here, jump at an angle here to get behind that rock so the enemies don't see you as much, and then move around to the right. That's the safest way of getting through that section. I was trying all sorts of hiding methods, but that one seems to be the most consistent. Now here we're going to grab the rocket launcher, switching it out for whatever weapon we have, but I forgot to mention, make sure you pick up the sword. The sword is vital for getting into the final room with regret. Here we're going to turn around, grab this rocket launcher ammo here, look down here to see if any of the enemies spawned. For some reason, sometimes there are 2 jackals and up to 3 grunts that spawn there, and 1 rocket will just take them out. Switch to classic mode because it's much easier to see the banshees coming out from the right and or left. And then if they are blue elites, they'll die in 1 rocket. If they're red elites, they'll die in 2 to 3. And if they're white elites, they'll die in 3 to 4. So we hope that it's not white elites. And the white elites aren't that common, luckily. Now we're going to use the rocket launcher to scare these guys out of their hiding places, and hopefully you'll take out a couple enemies while you're at it. I've gotten triple kills shooting rockets here. And the first thing I look for is the fuel rod grunts, and then I focus on the elites. So right here I was deciding who do I shoot first, and then I decided on this fuel rod grunt. Now here I had a bit of a slow clear, I think. I was looking for you saw the blue guy flying to the right, and you want to have this clear before the ships align. But this guy flew into an extremely weird spot. So I think I lost just a couple seconds there, but it's still a pretty fast clear. So let's see. This room can be improved in multiple ways, even though it's heavily RNG based and it's very risky. In the start, you can only kill 3 snipers on the right side if you get the good spawns, and then you can get the god launch across the bridge, as well as move through all the enemy sections without having to pause. Also, we have the faster clear on the jackal area, where I normally would have a plasma grenade to take out 2 of the jackals and then finish them with beam rifle before going up for the fuel rod. Now right here you have plenty of time to clear these guys. You just want to do it before you hit the bridge, and then once you hit the bridge. There's still some enemies hiding, you can jump up there. I was going to show you real fast, but it's no biggie. It just gives you a better angle on shooting down on the enemies' heads. And then here we jump across. You can get to this cutscene slightly early. And now this is really important how you do this. Every millisecond counts. You want to sword into that guy. Normally we'll hit the elite as he's coming out this door. If not, throw stickies at each door to sort of make the elites jump out of the way sometimes. And then we want to rush straight into here. This is the hardest fight in the entire game because it's so RNG based. Completely random where this guy basically drops you off when you jump on him, as well as his spawns are very random, although supposedly you can control where he spawns with very specific positioning on where you're standing and where you're looking, but I haven't figured out exactly how that works yet. So for now I'm just going to accept the randomness and try and look around using the second and third floors to see where he's at. Notice that right here we lost a little bit of time trying to find where he is. So a completely perfect run would have regret spawn next to them every single time, kind of like this. Notice how extremely lucky that was, and we're also getting lucky that he's not dropping me off on any sword elites. Like, he could have turned the other way there, dropped me on that ramp, and then this would have been a dead run. So to get a perfect IL run for this, you just have to keep running it over and over and over until the stars align for no deaths. And this was the first ever sub 1130 regret on legendary completion on Master Chief Collection. No sword flying, no sword canceling, since those tricks don't work in this game. Very optimized route. It can definitely go sub 1115, probably sub 1110, maybe one day sub 11. But I hope you guys enjoyed that run. It's a very difficult mission, takes a lot of practice, but is very fun to pull off once you learn all the tricks. This is Nak3d Eli. I'll catch you next time on Sacred Icon.